It is time for HHN 2018 speculation. There's gonna be weekly videos, so if you're excited, hit that like button and let's get started. So let me know in the comment section down below how your HHN withdrawal has been going. I know I've been dying to talk about the event, and I knew December would be a little too early, and finally we can start talking about this event on a weekly basis. So in this video, I don't want to talk about specific IPs or specific properties we're going to be seeing at this year's event, but I wanted to talk about something on a larger scale, something I think is very important for this year after what we saw in 2017, and that is quality versus quantity. 2016 was amazing. I think it was my favorite year so far in Hollywood. 2017 had a lot of areas of opportunity, and the reason why, and one of the major critiques by a lot of people, were the abundance of black walls. And then to top it off, there was the same scare tactic used in most of these black hallways, and that was an elevated platform with the black curtain, and a scare actor would pop out from behind it. And don't get me wrong, not all black hallways are bad. Some black hallways can be used to build suspense and tension, like The Exorcist, for example, had a lot of black hallways. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I know a lot of people out there really found it legitimately scary. We were at 8 mazes last year, 8 including The Walking Dead. Maybe the event grew too fast, and I know the budget is definitely one of the biggest contributing factors to why there were so many black hallways, but are we gonna see the same amount of black hallways at the event this year? What are some other possible solutions? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I posted a poll on Twitter because I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it, and that's what I'm gonna start doing in more videos, is really trying to incorporate your guys' opinions into the videos. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's at AwkwardArsic. I'm gonna link it down below. If you would rather see less mazes without black hallways, keep 8 mazes but have shorter, more detailed houses, or have the mazes stay the same length, keep the same amount of mazes, and keep the same amount of black hallways. 34% chose less mazes, no black walls. 48% chose same number as 2017 with black walls, and 18% chose same number but shorter mazes. Of course, the ideal situation would be the same number of mazes, no black walls, and keep that level of detail throughout, but it doesn't seem likely. And if John's tweet was true about it being the most successful year of Halloween Horror Nights, then that means we will not see an increased budget. You know, we're paying a lot of money to go to this event, so we expect really good mazes. So I think dropping 1 maze would make a big impact, and that honestly would be my choice. But of course, 48%, the highest voted option, was same amount of black walls, same amount of mazes. Alfonso Gutierrez on Twitter brings up a good point, and he says that less mazes means even longer wait times. At Will Martinez on Twitter posted that if I was going to have to pick one, I would have around 5 really intricate mazes. That would also mean longer wait times, so if scare zone size, quality, or count could go up, that would be ideal in my opinion. 2 ways to combat that would be to add more shows, which we've needed already. Another option would be just to lower the attendance cap, and then 3 would be the same number of mazes but shorter mazes, and only 18% chose that option. That's something that I probably wouldn't want to see. At Steven Mesa said, since this was my first year going, I didn't pay much attention to the black walls, but I realized that there were a lot of them. I would like to see less of them, but I know that a budget is a big thing, but I mean a different color or small details would be nicer than black walls. And that I agree with as well. It doesn't need to be something elaborate. Have a slight transition. I think The Walking Dead's maze back in 2012 did a really good job of that. They went from, you know, the city to the farmhouse to the barn to different areas, but they at least had, you know, a freeway sign, or if they had minor details that made you understand what you were really getting into instead of just abruptly jumping into the next scene. Then of course we have people from Orlando that are just clowning on us, like Victor Oviedo. Ha, we don't even know what black walls are in Orlando. I'm watching you, Victor. How dare you make fun of us. Alfonso Gutierrez also tweeting, I would prefer 4 long and super detailed mazes than 8 mazes like the ones of 2017 for sure. Now that's a little extreme. Let's not go down to 4 mazes or even suggest that, because then what if they get the idea like, hey, if people are going to show up with 4 mazes, let's do it. In all seriousness, you look at 2007, 2008, even up to 2012, 2013, and most of the mazes didn't have this problem. Then slowly but surely we started seeing black walls a little bit more every single year, and that's because the event was growing. Orlando, which has 9 mazes at one point, versus our event, and how do they manage to keep the same level of detail throughout it? Is the budget much higher in Orlando? I don't know for sure. Maybe we're spending our money differently. Of course, masks, prosthetics, costumes. Here in Hollywood, our event has much better masks, much better prosthetics. Maybe the budget's going towards that and we're trying to cut back in other ways. But I would rather see the same quality of Orlando's masks and prosthetics if we were able to keep that level of detail in the mazes. If I'm in a very immersive maze with great scares and great lighting, the costumes don't throw it off too much, with the exception of The Shining, which I'll get to in another video as well. Then the final option, which is actually something I'd be totally down for, is cutting out the Terror Tramp, cutting out the Jabberwocky show, and possibly increasing our maze count to 9 in total to kind of offset taking out those attractions. Jabberwocky show I'm not the biggest fan of, as you guys know, and the Terror Tramp has gotten a bit stale, so if they're not changing the location, then I honestly would like to see that happen. This is actually a rumor going around right now. HHN Mannix on Twitter, if you guys aren't familiar with him, check him out. He does a lot of speculation. He provides me with some of this information, and of course none of this is 100%. Sources might throw out false information to kind of mess with speculation. So we don't know if this is true, but if they cut out the tram, cut out Jabberwockies, of course attendance cap definitely needs to be lowered. So with all of those options, what do you think is the best possible scenario? I'm curious to hear what you guys think, so let me know in the comment section down below or on Twitter at AwkwardRsick. And if you guys enjoyed this, please get the video to at least 100 likes and subscribe to the channel for more HHN content. I will see you guys in a few days with another speculation video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.